Friends, hello, good evening. My name is Orlando Luna. Today I'm feeling really good. I would like to do something very special for those of you that are here this evening. What I decided to do is to go ahead and give you the master key to this business. The secret to what makes the number one company in the world go round. The first thing that is important to understand is the industry of network marketing is precious. Learn about network marketing. Those of you who are invited here for the first time, ask the person who brought you here, what is network marketing? Give me information about network marketing. I've never heard of network marketing, and some have no idea what network marketing is. You will find out, those of you that this business is miraculous and is capable through habits and discipline to make all your dreams come true. Ask the person who invited you for information. Tell them you want CDs and which book do you recommend for me to read first so I can start to understand. Okay, good. Moving forward. So today I'm going to focus on key fundamentals of the business for those people who want to know more. Nothing in the world will take away your opportunity to be diamond. And in my opinion, it is important and necessary to be in a business like Amway to learn how to be competitive in today's economy. The leaders in this company are very important, and they are impactful because they have learned how to help people achieve their dreams. I admire the leadership of Amway, and I can tell you that you are in good hands. Today, I want to share with you from my heart. My function this evening is basically for the new people who are here for the first time. My grade or measurement will be my ability to explain what it was that I saw in this business to you. This evening may be very important to you. It may be the most important night for you to understand this information. But it does not depend so much on you guys as it depends on me. So I'm going to do my work in the most sincere way to the best of my ability so you can understand. And if for some reason you do not understand, be calm and put the blame on me. I'm going to do what is possible for you to understand the elements that are most important in network marketing. And we're going to make a pact. Let's make a pact with each other. The minutes that I'm going to be here today, I will do my best to transmit the information the best possible way that I have understood it. If there is even one person that was invited today that does not understand any part of what I'm going to go over, please lift up your hand and say, I don't understand. Could you please explain this part to me? Or could you clarify whatever needs clarification? Are we on the same page? Because we do not want not even one person who was invited to leave tonight without understanding. We want you to understand. I understood it. And if you do not want to do this business, it may be because you have your own decision or your own reasons not to do it. But I don't want you to say that one time I went to one of those meetings and I did not understand anything. I do not want that to happen because sometimes it does happen. So the information I'm sharing with you is for the new people and also people who have years in the business. Maybe you're not conscious of how important this is to each of your lives. Something I'm aware of today is network marketing is a trend around the world. Normally, when we start in the beginning, we are ignorant about what it takes to be a successful business person. People will say, whenever you talk to them about this type of business, they'll ask, what is it? Have you noticed that the majority of the people that start this business, they start with a sense of, well, we'll see how it goes. And guess what their results are? They get we'll see how it goes results. Why do you think that people take this business as, well, we'll see what happens? It's out of ignorance. Well, at least that was the case with me. When I saw this business in the beginning, I had the intention to really find out if there was hope. Is this a real opportunity to change my life? Is what I really asked myself. I can remember when a friend of the family approached me one day about this business. He asked me, Orlando, is that true that you're in that thing called Amway? And I could feel a hot flash coming over my body. And I said, yes, yes, it is to consume. I can remember telling him, well, we'll see what happens. For me, it wasn't until I began to read and find out information about this business. I thought, looking back, I thought, how stupid was I? How stupid was I taking this as a, well, we'll see what happens? Here I am, 20 plus years of education, and I was completely ignorant about this business. Network marketing is an enormous trend in the economy today. There are close to 1,000 companies that are trying to copy what Amway has created. There are more than 1,000 companies today. What Amway did was they invented the wheel. Amway has 60 years experience. Can you imagine that? It's been 60 years since the company has started. This is a brilliant idea. It's a brilliant idea for the economy. And imagine what the world was like 60 years ago. It was Rich and Jay who created this brilliant idea. And I found out that most companies' business model believe that success will come by making a list of people and calling them to present the products and show them the compensation plan, and that is it. The majority of companies ignore that success is not limited to having the best products, maybe the best research and the best development or the best brands. If there is not an education program in place, all they are doing is putting people to sell the product. They are not developing people to become a business person. You will not have success if you do not have an education program that allows you to transform your character from a caterpillar into a beautiful butterfly. Amway was created so people can become business people. It is different from other companies. It is not the same from what other companies do. This is not a business of selling products. This is a business that allows us to become business people. Does that change things or not? It changes things completely. Now, if someone comes into the business and says, I just want to sell products. Okay. Well, you have every right to do that. And here you will be welcomed. But the dream Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel had was for people to have their own business. Your own business. That is why we are called businessmen and women. It is different because in order for this to happen, you need the education of a business person. We do not come into the world with the talent and information that we need to succeed. All leaders have learned about business, and we do it through our education program. We were not born with the talent it takes to be successful. However, all the talent you need in this business can be developed and learned through books, tapes, meetings, and functions, and that is what is incredible. You will find people who want to be a business person, and they will fight and fight, fight and fight and fight until they become business people. Do you think success is free or handed out when successful business people achieve their status? No, 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 not at all. These are people that have been dreaming. These are people that have transformed their character in order to become leaders. There are people that found the desire to become business people and then they go for it. When we first start this business, we have something that is called fear. And often people say, no, 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 no. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I want to go where they will protect me. I want security where I could get a paycheck and pay the bills each month. It is not much, but at least I get paid every 2 weeks. Many people want to live their life without doing any extra thinking that is required to become a business person. But on the flip side, there are people that want to fight for their freedom. You will hear some people say, "You want me to work during my free time?" No, I don't think I want to be a business person. When you measure the time that passes by and measure all the time watching TV, you can get a sense of the fear that is sold outside. When the time comes to show the plan and tell them that this business is the opportunity to become a business person, immediately within seconds, the fear will fill their body and they will think, how scary is that? In minutes, they will not be interested in any part of this business. These people will never get out of the middle class and below. Why? Because to become rich, you need a different mindset and you have to learn how to think. What I'm saying is that all of the problems of the rich and the poor is the difference between thinking habits. Ask yourself this question. Do you know what country you live in? Do you know how rich the USA is? It is impressive. It brings to my attention the wealth that is all around us. John Paul Getty said 100% of the wealth in the world is owned by 20% of the people. He goes on to say that if we take all the riches of the world and split it between all the people, split 100% of the wealth evenly between everyone, within 5 years, 100% of the wealth will return to the 20% of the people who had the money in the first place. Why would all the wealth return to the same 20% of the people? John Paul Getty says it's because 20% of the population has the mentality to attract money. The rest of the people repel it. The rest of the people repel money. The reason for this is because money is intimately related with the way that we think. It is intimately related to the way that we think. And I have my own experience. I was an employee for almost 20 years and I did not make a lot of money. What I had as an employee was status. Status pilatus. So you get a good car, a nice house, you put on a nice tie. For me, I never had enough money. It is incredible that I never had enough money. So look at what is interesting. One day I was at the Galleria Mall and I earned what a mid-level manager earns. I had status. In my early 30s, I was happy, but I never had enough money. And look at what happened to me. It's very interesting. One day I went shopping and I saw a beautiful watch. It really caught my attention. I asked the sales lady, how much does this watch cost? The lady told me $6,000. And I said, $6,000? Wow. I said, that is incredible. How is it possible that one person can pay $6,000 for one watch? I finished shopping and I thought, wow, it's incredible that there are people that pay $6,000 for a watch. No wonder there are people dying of hunger. And here is a watch that sells for $6,000. Those are the thoughts of the poor. Thoughts of the poor. Those are the thoughts of an employee. So look at what is so interesting. I get into the business of Amway, the business that I never wanted to join, and I found out inside there's an education program that transformed my way of thinking. An educational program that transformed my way of thinking 100%. And when I started the business, what I did is I connected to the education program and I right away began to transform our way of thinking. I was able to do this by reading books, listening to CDs, going to seminars, and also the conventions. I had to associate myself, associate myself, and associate myself. And of course, I had to do the action. Once I started to make good money, look at what happened. It's incredible. I went back to the Galleria and I looked at the same watch. I asked the salesperson, "Excuse me, ma'am, how much does this watch cost?" She told me $6,000, and my head told me, "That's a good price." Guess what I did? I bought it. I bought it. I bought it. I bought it. And on my way home to my house, the watch was still in its case, and I'm looking at how precious it is, and I thought, wow, that was a good price. That is a good price for the quality workmanship. What are you going to tell your family in this situation? Are you going to tell your family that you bought a watch for $6,000? Are you going to be able to tell your brothers who have no money that you just spent $6,000 on a watch? No, you can't. I did not tell them what it cost. I had to tell them it was a replica. And later on they forgot about the watch, but they always had mentioned that it's a very nice replica. Why do you think I did not tell them how much it cost? For one sincere reason. My mind, it's connected to the education program. In my case, the education program that I found came into my life, and very quickly I started listening to values, working with a team, time for family, and timeless principles that are taught by the diamonds who have achieved freedom. And I began to start to dream. I had spent 20 plus years of education, and finally I have successful professors who have large businesses all over the world. I could feel inside that this education was different from college professors that teach out of a book. So quickly, I started to learn the disciplines and habits from the diamonds, the habits and disciplines that it takes in order to make it. I started to read every day. I was not even a reader when I started this business, but I kept hearing over and over and over that you must read so that you can transform your character. Read to become more agreeable when you start to give the plan. What was it that I was doing? What was happening to me? I was educating myself, elevating myself, lifting up my self esteem, and building my confidence day by day. It happened day by day, step by step. What I did is I worked on my faith and my belief, and inside it grew. It grew slowly, step by step. But for the first time in my adult life, I started to feel better from within. I was learning how important it is to live a life with a dream, step by step, little by little, day by day. I grew into the person that I am today. It did not happen overnight. I was able to transform myself using the education program, and it turned me into a winner. I'm not against professions. What I'm against is that they teach us how to be employees and not how to become a winner. This education here in Amway will transform you into a winner. It's the books, the tapes, the functions, and the seminars. It is what we do, and it is all the keys and secrets that will be given to you. The diamonds learn the same way we are learning. They learn from others who had results and knew the rules of the game and how to play it. Throughout history, there is evidence that people have searched for teachers to have a better life. People would seek out Michelangelo, Aristotle, and Socrates, just to name a few, in order to assure that they were learning from a teacher who had the wisdom. And that is fantastic. I had 8 years transforming my mind, including the action of going to seminars, listening to CDs, reading books, and going to the meetings. Look, there's 9 seminars in 1 year where diamonds teach you the business, 3 conventions in 1 year, and the professors are all diamonds. You read 12 books in 1 year, reading The Richest Man in Babylon, Think and Grow Rich, The Magic of Thinking Big, The School of Business, How to Win Friends and Influence People, The New Professionals, etc., 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 etc. And I will ask you, do you think your mind will stay the same in 1 year after all this information on how to become a business person? It is never the same. Your mind has totally changed its way of thinking. And when you change your way of thinking, you will see your results change. Something very interesting happens because your communication with everyone changes. Look, I told them it was a replica so they don't get nervous, right? Why? My communication had to be like that with them because they're not connected to an education program. I have to understand them where they are. The same year during Christmas, you know how family does a lot of things together during the holidays. In some cultures, people go out into the street with an empty suitcase and they walk around in circles for good luck. They do this as a superstition, hoping that they will travel in the year to come. The next year, people never leave their city. The following year, they will repeat the same superstition, hoping the results are different. In our culture, people eat black eyed peas or grapes for the new year and make wishes for the upcoming year. They hope the future will change. Folks, the only way next year will be different is if you get information in your head that has the possibility to transform your character. If you want different results, you must start to do something different. Do you expect changes if you're not reading and your head stays the same? That is the big secret between the rich and the poor. So New Year's Eve celebration starts, and I have an aunt that kept asking me questions. You know, your typical aunt. She's dancing with all the family, and I was in my room in the back office closing my month. The house was full of people. The Christmas trees were still up with all the lights and music was playing loud, and my aunt was dancing. And I would notice out of the corner of my eye, she would walk over to me and she would tell me, "Hey, it's New Year's Eve. It is going to be midnight and you're working on that thing, Amway?" "Yes, Auntie. I'm busy closing out the month." So my aunt goes back to the living room to be with the family. And the next time that she comes over to see me, she says, "But isn't that real hard to do?" I said, "Yes, it's very hard." She leaves again. And when she comes back the next time, she says, "But a lot of people do that and they become rich, right?" And told her, "No, not everyone that does this becomes rich. Not everyone." She thought it was very weird that I always agreed with her. I tried to just leave it alone or change the subject so she could go and dance. She would come back again and again, and then she says, "I have friends that have got into that business and then they leave." Yes, Auntie, there are a lot of people that come and go and complain, tons of them. The only one who stays is me. I can see that she wanted to tell me with her face, "Why don't you ask me to join? Why aren't you fighting with me about this? Why don't you tell me it is a lie what people say about this business? Have you seen people that argue and fight with their family? If you are new, what do you think this is about?" Hello? Why was I agreeable with my aunt? Why didn't I argue with my aunt? Because I already have 8 years going to seminars, years buying the monthly education program, and years listening to CDs and going to conventions. I had years listening to positive information about leadership and about business, and I continued to grow and grow and grow and grow. It's like I feel like I have a chip that is full of information. So my question is, would you connect a chip to a tech gadget that has been obsolete since the 90s? It doesn't work. It will not work. That's the difference of people that do this business with education and the people who do not do it with education. Outside, you will find companies that have excellent products. Of course, there are good products, but they want you to be a salesperson. There is no intention for the company to educate you like a business person. In order for you to become a business person, you have to educate yourself. Take a look back at your mindset when you first found this business. The only thing my head helped me with was combing my hair. Really. When we're stuck in the daily routine of life, we do not use our head for much. What we do in our daily routine does not require much mental work or thinking day in and day out. That level of thinking that's required on the outside is just enough to get by each month. The level of thinking that this business requires is to become rich. The level of thinking that is required in this business is the desire to become a business person. It is the desire to become prosperous. So you must change your way of thinking. And obviously, this aunt of mine thinks differently than I do. There's not much to talk about when it comes to this business with my aunt. No, Auntie, keep dancing. Go ahead, keep dancing. That's very important for you because there are people that come into the business and there are parents that will quickly critique them, which usually leads to fighting. No, 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 no. Leave them alone. Look, I have people that come into the business, and guess what discourages them? Their mother will discourage them because they have a sixth sense. They have a natural sixth sense. I will sign up a young person and they're very excited, and the following week their excitement goes away, and it was because he talked with his mom. Mom will say, I don't have a good feeling about this. I don't think that it's for you. Mom will say, this is not good like they're telling you. If you listen to your mom, she will kill you because she has no idea what this business is about. I learned something early on, and this is what I share with my group. Your mother, you're supposed to love her. You're supposed to love her, but just don't listen to what she says when it comes to this business because she has no idea about this business. This is a business that you do with information. This is a business that you do professionally. The difference between the champions and everyone else is simply that they have become informed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Your success in the world will depend on what you know. The people who get educated are the ones who become successful. Society is simply divided between those who are informed and those who are not informed. When I started this business, I read a book called Compassionate Capitalism by Rich DeVos. To be successful in this business, you need good information. You need group support. You need a good line of communication. You need to become professional in this and learn about this business. Fortunately, we have a phenomenal education program. Tell me where you will find a university like we have inside. This is a university where you will be trained by professors who are rich, who have a business, who think like a business person. Diamonds that have the freedom, money, and all they want is to teach you how to succeed in the new economy. The only thing the professors want is for you to pick up the discipline and habits it takes to become successful. Nobody will ask you for your title, your qualifications, or your resume. They give you the keys and all the secrets in this business. All you have to do is pick up on the information and apply it in your life, and things will start to change. Outside, there's a traditional system of education that has 400 years functioning without ever changing. It is the same today as it was 400 years ago. I have dedicated my life to the study of the history in education, and the world of education has not changed in 400 years. And look at what happened when the industrial age started in the 17th century. The industrial age begins, and Watson invents the steam engine, which revolutionized humanity. These machines began to make items in volume, yet before the industrial age, everything was done by hand. People would make their own bread and clothes. That is how it was before the industrial age. When the steam machines were created, everything was manufactured in volume. Ties in volume, underwear in volume, shirts in volume, and cars in volume. Everything was done in volume, changing humanity forever. And guess what happened? In the beginning of the traditional education system, professors would pick the families they would teach, and they would teach them in their house. For example, Aristotle was a professor of Alexander the Great. Aristotle showed Alexander a map of the world and told him, "You can one day conquer the world." Alexander the Great, king of Macedonia, was 6 years old. He would not have been able to conquer territory and land if he was not taught how to think. Aristotle taught him how to think. The Greek philosopher Aristotle was his professor and taught him all the laws of nature. But when the industrial era arrived, everything started to be done in volume, including the education system, and all the children were sent to school. It is incredible. My own experience. They showed me where all the rivers and seas were on the map, as if my goal in life was to become a fisherman. What does it matter in life where all the rivers are located? I had 20 plus years of education, and what I found out is I was asleep. I finished studying still asleep, on the inside with no plan, dreams, or desire to achieve in my life. I wanted more. So, what happened to me after all that traditional education? They teach us the day by day routine. Kids graduate from school with careers as a mechanical engineer. With our education, we have to pick a career. I don't want to study calculus 3 and trigonometry. It did not matter. The professor would say, "You have to study that. Be quiet. This will free your mind." Hello? Students graduate by the thousands, and it makes me uneasy because we graduate and we're sent off into life with a pat on the back. Go see what you can find, and we'll see how you do. Let's see what they can find, and we just sit back and watch. Students will go outside and they come back and tell the parents, "There's nothing out there for me." This happens because there's nothing in their heads. They educate the intellectual intelligence side, but they do not educate our emotional intelligence. In this education program Amway has, we transform our emotional intelligence, which lies where our creativity is. We graduate from the university as mechanical individuals who memorized everything to get the credit for the class. As soon as the semester is over, we forget everything that we learned. We're educated to be good employees. The industrial era produced doctors, lawyers, psychologists, and philosophers. They do it in volume, the same as manufacturing plants. They put the students in on one side and take them out when they have enough credits to finish their career requirements or degree. What is the big problem with this? The problem is the industrial era is over and no changes have been made. Who told us that we had to pick a career? Is it ignorance or lack of options? The lack of options. So you are going to say that he has something against education. Look, I studied 20 plus years. I went to several universities, and I've studied where the traditional education system came from. Alvin Toffler's way of thinking is brilliant when it comes to education, and I learned from him in my journey. I thought, what will happen if we do not change, if we do not study, and if we do not learn? We have become irrelevant. Why do you think we take the kids to school so early at 7 a.m.? They are in the house and the parents say, "Hurry up, you need to take a shower so you can get to the university." "I don't want to, Mom. Hurry up and take a shower. You have to get your education." and the kids take a shower, they comb their hair, and go wait for the bus at 7 in the morning in the cold. And those children are there till 3 p.m. because the creators of the education system believed it should be like this. I have a friend who sends his kids to school at 7 a.m. and they are finished at 3 p.m. Guess what mentality they form in students? It's a mentality of an employee. Students don't complain about hours at work when they finish school because they're already programmed how the world works as an employee. If they don't do what the professor says to do, they will kick them out of school, and the kid does not want to get kicked out of school. They kicked Thomas Edison out of school because the professors thought that he was mentally challenged. They thought he was a dumb kid. They took Edison out of school and they did not accept him in any other school. His mother bought him books to read, and at a young age he began to make inventions. So I asked the question, would you rather have been Thomas Edison or a mechanical engineer? Edison, in the end, it did not matter if he went to school or not. Congress declared Edison brightest mind that has ever existed. He did not let himself become a victim of circumstance just because they kicked him out of school. The education program you find in this business is brilliant. It is different from what is on the outside. The first fundamental element that this model has is you will educate yourself. The fruit of this education program is we become great people by tapping into our emotional intelligence. Outside, they do not educate us to use our emotional intelligence. We learn that 2 plus 2 equals 4. We never learned how to use our imagination. It is in the imagination. It's the imagination. Traditional schools do not teach us about this type of thinking. The imagination. The traditional education model have been doing the same thing for 400 years. It was Albert Einstein who was declared an irrelevant student. Einstein discovered the theory of relativity. What led him to discover the theory of relativity? What led him to discover this theory? It was his capacity to use his imagination. It is the capacity we have inside to persevere. It is the capacity to learn what others could not see. It was Einstein's capacity to use his imagination, and he is the author of the most brilliant things I have ever heard. He says, the imagination is more important than what you know. The imagination is more important than what you know. Why? Because you can know everything about calculus, but if your thinking is not creative, you cannot create wealth. Have you seen professionals that are tired and who have conformed to life's routine? I have heard people say, there's no work available. Hello? What do you mean there is no work? They are programmed not to think when we finish school. So, what is it that happened? The education system turns out people year after year, 40 years working at a career, and the result is poor, depending on the government or family to take care of us. Why is it that after we went to school, we never have enough money? It is a broken system. An education that does not teach you how to be rich is a broken system. Oftentimes, people do not have an understanding of what it takes to be rich because they were educated to be employees. We're educated in traditional education to become employees. We are taught in school to depend on others. The difference in education here is you will grow on the inside. In this education program Amway has, it will build your self-esteem back up so you can lift your head up and smile again. We learn how to dream again. Wow! Show me outside a situation where the teachers get together to educate people who graduated on how to dream. Show me. Show me a situation where traditional education taught us how to dream. That is why we must return to when we were kids in this business. You will learn the importance of living with a dream. In 20 years, they never talked or told me that it was important for me to have a dream. The professor says, no, stay there seated until you graduate. School made me sleepy. Throughout humanity, developments in civilization have been created by people who dream. All of the advancements of humans, all the way back to the Egyptians and the Greeks, up until today, were created by people who dream, not by people who work. People who dream. That is why it is important in this business that you learn how to dream. What matters is that you learn to have a head that thinks and starts to dream again. Humans were born to dream. Few people learn how to dream, and they're the ones who triumph. If you use your head to dream, we not only can be happy, we can transform our own personal world. When I finished school, I worked, watched TV, I bought things and went into debt. I worked, watched TV, bought things and went into debt. I thought, oh my, why did I go to school all those years? I received an education that did not show me how to be prosperous and how to dream in life. This is what changes when you come into the business of Amway. It is our education model that has the capacity to transform us from a caterpillar into a beautiful butterfly. What will this education program do? You can be a chemical engineer and learn to do your job with love and the capacity to dream. I tell people what I have done in school, in business, in finance, and later that I studied psychology. I have postgraduates, and I was not able to be successful in the world. I was always in debt and poor at the end of the month. I saw that I was not having success financially, and I felt that there was something missing in my life. So I looked into doing a doctorate. Get a doctorate and get paid $200 more per month. The alternative is to educate your head as a business person in the business of Amway. Look at what happens in this country. After school, people try to make money, and after an amount of years, things do not go well, so they open a hair salon. After 5 years, the salon shuts down, and they say, no, that does not work, and they start a business cooking from home or some sort of business out of the garage. The cooking business shuts down. The third business out of the garage loses in a fire and shuts down. And they start making hamburgers. They say that they're going to be like McDonald's. When the hamburger idea fails, they say that this country is not like it used to be. I might as well accept just getting by, just being able to pay the bills. They forget that things will never change because they have the same information in their head. Their heads will follow them around wherever they go. If they do not start to educate their head, the pattern of life will continue and never change. They will start to question what is happening to me. What happened to the American dream? Is it really real? What I'm telling you is that the American dream is alive, and if you use your head to think, if you really educate yourself like a business person, you will see that we live in the best country in the world. But we need an education for business. It is not the one that they teach you in school. We need to learn how to dream again. We need to learn how to use our imagination. We need to learn how to believe in ourselves again. This educational program focuses on believing in ourselves. And that has nothing to do with shampoo. And it has nothing to do with the omega that is so good. You can have the best products in the world, but if you do not educate your head like a business person, you will always complain. Have you ever seen people that complain about everything? They go to another business that is similar. There are people who call me and say, hey, look, so-and-so are going to go to another business. I tell them, let them go. What do you mean, let them go? They're going to take their head with them. Because if I leave Amway, where is there an education program that will educate you like a business person on the outside? I will not find anything like where I'm at already. Outside, they put you to sell products. They do not educate your mind so you can become a business person. And that is the key in network marketing. They educate us so we can become dreamers. They educate us to become dreamers. It's incredible how the world transforms when you learn how to dream, at least a little bit. At least a little bit. It is incredible how the world transforms, and with this vehicle, you will reach your dreams. You transform. Today, I appreciate very much my country. Thanks to this education program, I was never taught how to transform my character before. The second part of the education program is all of the professors that educate you have the results. At the universities, I had professors teaching business that never had a business before. And we think this is normal. No one can give what they don't have. I would ask a professor, you have postgraduates, you've done a lot. Do you have a business? No, 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 no. They would tell me, I just teach business administration. People go and pay for expensive careers and are taught by people who have never had their own business. Your teachers in this business are diamonds and they're all rich. This is an education model where the professors have a business that is worldwide. The professors are owners of a business that is proven around the world. Businesses that are big, and they will train you. They will train you so that you can better form your character, so that you can become good. Do this business so you can become a champion. Take control of your life and get the information. Make it a priority to become good at contacting others because the project consists of expanding this idea with others. The only thing that you must do is to change the brands that you consume today over to the brands that this business has. No one can give you what they do not have. I had a professor that taught finances. One day I went to his office and we started talking. I told him, you must be very successful in order to teach this class. He said, why? And he told me, don't believe that. I do good, but I have lots of debt. In general, the professors are the same as the students they teach. I was impacted with this education model here in Amway when I heard a diamond speak and found out that he is free. Do you know what your freedom is worth? Do you know what your freedom is worth? Before, I would not get invited to the next door neighbors. Now I have friends that want me around, and it is all the result of a business education. If you get educated, your life will change. I'll share a story with you. I have friends that sign up in my business that are engineers. They ask me, do I have to leave my career? And I say, no, 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 don't do that. What will happen is you're going to earn sufficient money so that you can do your profession with dignity and as a business person, not gifting your time like everyone else, not begging for a position. So I tell the young people that if you're going to study to become an engineer. Study and become a great engineer. Do this business and at least become diamond. The money you make begins to add up and you have money left over at the end of the month. So when your money adds up, you can do your work as an engineer with love. Things change when you have money. So it is worth your while to stop going in circles. Later you can start a business of doctors and employ those that do not have the mindset for business. And that is not your fault. You are the doctor business person. And there are mountains of people that do not think. But keep being a doctor. That is the message. Keep being a doctor. This business does not bother your profession. What we want is for you to become rich so you can do your profession if you want to do it and do it with love. Dedicate yourself to dream. When I used to look at my bank account, I would get depressed. Now, when I get depressed, I look at my bank account. 96% of people work, buy, and go into debt. Work, buy, and go into debt. That drove me to do this business. It is incredible. This business is full of abundance. You want to know something? You are in the greatest opportunity and business that you can be in this new economy. We have the best company that exists in network marketing, and we have the best products, and we have the best education program that is going to work for you so that you can become a dreamer.